Welcome to the SafeNet Crypto Classroom. In this session, we're going to talk about key management. Before we begin, let's start with a definition of what we mean when we say key management, so that we're all on the same page. If the primary method for protecting sensitive data is encryption, and the foundation of encryption is the cryptographic keys, then key management is protecting, storing, backing up, and organizing encryption keys. So why are we focusing on key management? Why is key management so fundamental to the enterprise today when it comes to the protection of sensitive data? Two main reasons. First, high-profile breaches are resulting in serious sensitive data loss for the enterprise. Second, there's continued pressure on enterprises when it comes to compliance and governance of sensitive data, whether that's regulatory mandates or internal security policy requirements. These two forces have accelerated the adoption of encryption technologies by the enterprise. So why is the increased adoption of encryption to protect sensitive data becoming such a big deal? Because as an organization deploys encryption technologies, they often find themselves with a broad range of encryption tools, possibly mismatched, and millions of encryption keys, all of which need to be protected, controlled, managed, backed up, and stored consistently and securely. Now let's picture this for a minute. If a cyber criminal decides to go after your organization's sensitive data, it's usually easier for them to just steal the keys rather than try to break any crypto algorithm. With the keys in hand, this person can decrypt your sensitive data. This is a threat to your intellectual property, your business reputation, and of course, the integrity of the data itself. On top of that, compliance mandates demand that enterprises prove and attest to data ownership, separation of duties, and access control around all sensitive compliant data. So needless to say, protecting and managing those keys is of utmost importance. So now that we understand why key management is a big deal for the enterprise, let's get back to the challenges that enterprises are having with managing their encryption keys today. First, let's talk about incongruity of encryption technologies and systems. The typical enterprise has implemented various encryption solutions at different times from a variety of vendors based on the type of data they're encrypting. This mixture of encryption solutions, storage types, and vendor-specific protocols causes disparate silos of encryption deployments scattered all over the place. Each encryption silo has its own keys, its own policy enforcement, and its own mechanisms for managing keys across their lifecycle. These keys expire, require updates, need to be added, removed, and rotated in order to comply with regulations, meaning IT personnel must manually engage with dozens of different systems. This is highly inefficient for the organization and a waste of time and resources. It's also easy to see why keys are lost, get stolen, or expire without anyone even realizing they have a problem. Unfortunately, around 39% of organizations at some point have experienced key loss or permanent data loss that disrupts business operations. Now that we know today's enterprise encryption environment, we can see the critical need for interoperability and standards for how keys are managed across the enterprise. Fortunately, a new standard, the Key Management Interoperability Protocol, or KMIP, has been developed and introduced. The goal of KMIP is to enable encryption technologies and the management platforms that support them to communicate together over one standard protocol. This standardized protocol enables the enterprise to implement one interoperable program to control all of its crypto keys, regardless of vendor, data, or storage type. As KMIP is adopted by technology vendors and accepted by the enterprise, it will enable greater protection and control over data, drive operational efficiencies, and reduce costs. Since enterprise key management is so important, let's discuss what to look for when implementing a solution. First, it needs to be a single system that can deploy and manage keys for all cryptography solutions in an enterprise, with one place to manage and define key management policies. This enables uniform, consistent policy management across various encryption deployments. Second, it needs to support encryption keys regardless of platform and enterprise topography. It should be versatile enough to handle encrypted data in the traditional data center as well as in the cloud. Third, it must be able to scale to ensure that as your enterprise grows or evolves, your enterprise key management system grows with you. Thanks for joining today's Crypto Classroom. I hope that you learned something about key management and the critical importance of establishing a crypto foundation that supports the growing use of encryption in the enterprise today.